This series had me crying in tears just from how funny it was. This scene gets better with every loop. Just look at this. It's so funny. So funny. Like, just seeing Alametto just like scream like, ah! If it just slams her head, like the thump sound. Just the thump sound. Just listen to the thump sound when she smacks her head up against the freaking desk. Like, the amount of detail, the attention to detail in that scene where it's just a brief pause and Ainz is just very, like, you know, he's very embarrassed, like, and awkward. And then she just, like, if it slams her head, I'm like, oh, like, it's good. It is so good. Like, I was dying. Like, seriously, it's very apparent that the scriptwriter of this series is very in tune with all four of these series of nailing the comedy of what makes these four series just so good. Like, compliments to the scriptwriter, because it's rare to see all four series, yes, they're isekai, but all four series with their own different forms of comedy used in such a way that meshes so well. Like, the entire scene with Konosuba's comedy mixed with Ainz's comedy was comedy gold. Like, Aqua legitimately was just in character, like, you're an undead, I'm gonna take you down, I wanna get rid of you, and she's like, turn undead, and as soon as she does it, Ainz is like, huh, a turn undead, a low-level spell, huh, and when he just hit, he's like, ah, just... It's so perfect. It's legitimately so perfect because it fits the characters so well. Because Ainz would just be sitting there like normal. He's like, turn undead, a low-level spell. And as soon as he's hit, he starts screaming in pain. It's just so different from anything we have seen from the series Overlord, and that's what makes it fit so well, is because Ainz as a character, he would do that probably. Even if he would do a lot of layers of planning, if he was to hear someone say turn undead, he would just drop his guard. He's like, he'd be like, okay. And as soon as he was hit and he started screaming, that's what made it for me, because the man, legit, one of the most broken characters of all of Isekai, and definitely in the entirety of this series, felt pain from Aqua. And also, little tidbit if you didn't notice, but Shaltir Bloodfallen, she was affected as well, which shows that Aqua's turn undead had an AoE effect. It wasn't just something like a single target, it actually hurt Shaltir as well. And we know for a fact, Shaltir is broken. Like, she could legitimately beat Ainz. If it wasn't for Ainz's multi-layer planning in the, his series to be able to beat her, he would have never won in a straight-up fight. So, for Aqua to even do that to her speaks a lot about how powerful Aqua is. And that's why I find it so funny, is because when Cosma comes in, it's like, boom, he knocks her, starts dragging her while she's screaming and crying, and seeing from Ainz's POV makes the scene honestly better than anything Konosuba's ever done with Cosma and Aqua, like when that little dispute type thing happens. And the reason what makes it so good is because we were not seeing it from our perspectives or other characters like that's within Konosuba. We're seeing it from Ainz's perspective, how he views Cosma and Aqua's relationship. And when he's just sitting there watching and Cosma's just dragging her off, he's just like, you're telling me a god, a goddess that is able to damage me with a low-level spell turn undead was one-shot by a high school boy. This world has balancing issues. And that moment, I died. I legitimately died. Because of all characters to say balancing issues, it would be Ainz. Because, let's face the facts here, Ainz is easily one of the most broken characters. Like, not just in this series, but in Overlord. He's broke. Like, he's really broke. This man is a pay-to-win dude. He has cash shop items. And to see how he's like, this world has balancing issues, I'm just like, yeah, it does, but you're the broke one. Like, seriously, you're straight broke. So, I thought that was hilarious. Like, I was dying while watching that entire scene unfold. But it's not just that. There's so many great scenes in this episode, like seeing the beginning of it where Cosma and his entire group looks over to Subaru and they notice his tracksuit. That was great. That is something I've been looking forward to a lot, because it's very known at this point that, you know, Konosuba's writer and ReZero's writer, they are friends. In real life, they are friends. And it's kind of like, you know, Kazuma, he is Subaru in a better life. That's kind of how you could view it. And their tracksuits are very similar. They're almost identical when they first start off. And seeing Kazuma look over to Subaru, it's just like I'm seeing a reflection of myself. That's probably what Kazuma's saying. Like, I'm seeing me in another world. And Subaru obviously is yet to catch on, and I just cannot wait for the dialogue between Kazuma and Subaru. It's something I'm looking forward to so much, because it's literally just a what-if Subaru. That's what Kazuma is. Like a Subaru that did not have to deal with return by death that he constantly has to deal with, which I can't wait for that to finally play a role in this series. It's bound to happen eventually, where powers start to come into play for ReZero, because that's kind of one of the series that's not really been big in the picture yet. By the way, like, out of all the series, looking at Tanya, looking at, you know, Konosuba and Overlord, you know, ReZero isn't really been focused on that much. We've had a little bit of focus on the characters, but not that much compared to the other three. And so I am looking forward to seeing Subaru having a big role to play, since technically ReZero is going to have another season soon, like next year. So I'm willing to bet they're going to kind of ramp up some things with Subaru's section of the story, at least for this series. Which, by the way, one of the things I do wonder about now, I'm starting to wonder if Kazuma is going to realize Ainz's true personality. What I mean is Ainz's inner personality. Because we all know, if you're part of Overlord's community and you've read the light novels or even watched the anime, we all know Ainz is a person. He is someone that just lies until, like, he fakes it until he makes it, or whatever. He fakes it till he makes it, and that's how he's always been. And he always puts on the mask, this persona, just to get everything going. And I wonder, since Cosmo's technically, like, the master of fake it till you make it, I wonder if he will notice Ainz's lies. I wonder if he will point it out. Like, he's gonna legitimately just straight up point it out, and nobody there, none of, you know, nobody underneath Ainz, like Albedo, Shaltier, or Demi, are going to notice, you know, Ainz lying. And I really, really hope that that is the case and that happens, because that will be comedy freaking gold. And I can definitely see Cosma and Ainz becoming good friends if Cosma actually points that out. Also, by the way, it's very apparent that Ainz thinks Kazuma is probably really broken, really strong. After, you know, one-shotting Aqua like he did, Ainz most likely is under the impression that Kazuma is extremely strong and he needs to freaking watch out. Now, anyways, let's get into some serious stuff of this series. Since it is technically all the Isekai coming together, I know it's a comedy-based series, and there's already been some, like, bending of the rules or some of the characters to even allow this situation in the first place, because, let's be real here, if this was Overlord, Shaltier and Albedo would have already murdered everybody. They would have instantly have killed everyone. Even if Ainz didn't want to say anything, yes, his word is law, they would listen to him, but overall, they would have already started some stuff. They would have already have killed a lot of people there, so it's very apparent that some of the characters are having to be bent in a way just for this can happen. However, Ainz not, you know, wanting to instantly end everybody like that and listening to the rules of what Rosewall said makes perfect sense with his character. Because Ainz as an individual, he is someone that is a cautious man. We know this if you read the light novels or even watch the anime, you know he's a cautious man. He thinks that there's always going to be opponents that are stronger than him, and so him listening to the rules makes perfect sense. And the reason why he would listen to the rules is because for someone to have the power to transport him to another world in the middle of Nazarick, he's instantly going to conclude, like, this person must be very strong. To infiltrate Nazarick, he must have some level of world-class item or whatever to bring me here. So that's probably what he's thinking. He's like, I need to be very cautious. If I break the rules, I might die or something. So Ainz is someone to listen to probably the weakest individual, and because he needs to be cautious. So him fitting in does make sense. Now, talking about the other characters, Kazuma and his group from Konosuba, it makes sense why they're fitting in, because they just take life in stride. They don't really care. I mean, Megumin, she hit the button, okay? She hit the button and was laughing and all, I'm proud of herself. So, honestly, they fit perfectly with this. You know, Subaru, he kind of fits. He does. He's so laid back in a way that I could definitely see his group just being completely fine with it. It would be kind of weirded out, but, you know, overall they could fit in. And seeing Tanya's group, Tanya's already, you know, used to being transported stuff, and I think her group is one that's kind of being bent in a way to kind of mesh in as well. But overall, I have to say, it's a pretty good mixture of these characters fitting into this universe, and I am looking forward to finally seeing maybe Aqua meet Tanya, because as we know, Tanya, she does not like being X, and finding out Aqua's a goddess, instant hatred right there. It's going to be instant hatred between Tanya and her, so it's bound to happen sooner or later. But I think that's about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, how you felt about, you know, this week's episode of the Isekai series, Isekai Quartet. I think that's how you say it. If I'm saying it wrong, correct me in the comments below. But I love you guys. Be safe, stay healthy, and if you enjoy my content, you know, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like, and if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.